Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming platforms.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached more than 10 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
It is Wednesday, June 3rd, and we are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
HOTspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community.
Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse rainbow family. We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, HOTspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 10,000 LGBTQ television stories. We will produce the 25th anniversary of our Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. We present Pride Fete in August, and we declare that love is in the air with Pride Fort Lauderdale on Valentine's Day, February 14th. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows all support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader communities.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support our diverse family. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro. Gregg is an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ publications and websites. Gregg, 30 Days of Pride, Take Pride 2025 takes place at the Galleria on June the 18th. Tell me what's happening out.
A vibrant celebration of LGBTQ history and culture, Take Pride 2025 opens at the Galleria at Fort Lauderdale on June 18th. This free exhibit, presented by History Fort Lauderdale, the Galleria, and the Westin Fort Lauderdale Beach Resort, highlights South Florida's queer advocates and features 2 powerful companion displays. Zorita's World showcases rare photographs of legendary burlesque dancer and LGBTQ icon Zorita, while selections from Last Call South Florida by Fred Fetus and Rick Carlin spotlight the region's historic queer-friendly hangouts. An opening night reception hosted by entertainers FayWhat and Sean Kitty Meow Palacios will kick off the event at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 18th. Reception tickets are $50, while the exhibit itself is free and open to the public during regular mall hours. Visitors can learn more at historyfortlauderdale.org and celebrate Pride all month long with this rich visual tribute. HOTspots Happening Out and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 Days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBTQ community. So stay tuned. So, full disclosure, Rick Carlin, who's one of the authors of this wonderful book, Last Call South Florida, very proud of him. He and his co-writer, Fred Fee just did a great job on this, and we're grateful to them for creating this wonderfully valuable reference book. I also love going to the Galleria during Pride Month and checking out the exhibit. It's kind of cool use of the mall space, but it's as informative, I think, as it is uplifting. And how can any event co-hosted by Faye be anything but fabulous?
Well, I love that there's a lot of great honorees that are friends of the show and friends of the community. Obviously, Tony Lima from SunServe, Francesca D'Amore, who has worked with us with Hollywood Pride, and we're so grateful to her and for all of her work that she's doing in the trans community. But I think it's really important in this time that we're honoring people. Right. And it's kind of what Pride is about, really. It's really sharing the stories of people that are in our community, that are leaders, and putting them out. And I love that it's at the Galleria also, because we're, putting things that are Pride in non-Pride spaces, which I think is really important.
Exactly. I mean, I've been to this a few times, over the last several years, and it's just amazing to go to it every time. It's completely different every time we go. We've got new leaders, we've got old leaders that are coming up and stepping up to the ranks and shouting their voices out there because it's needed right now.
Well, and all the characters and all the people that are on this particular panel. I mean, we have the Honorable Robert Lee, who's a judge for, I don't want to tell how many years. I've known him for 20 years working at the Stonewall Library. He was on the board of directors when I first joined the group as a volunteer. So, I mean, it's nice to see that it's a complete representation of the world inside the gay community, not just little slivers that we constantly see continuously, the same names, the same people. So I like that, the variety of the people, and Robert's very quiet, and he does a lot, but nobody really pays attention to what he does because it's behind the scenes, and he's very humble about it. So I'm glad to see that it's more than just obvious people that you see every week at all the same events. We expand our community.
That's true. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Take Pride 2025 on June 18th. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's welcome anchor Vaughn Biggs. He is a community outreach coordinator at Holy Cross Health, a vice chair of the Ryan White Part A Planning Council, and a founding board member of Trans Ed. Vaughn, 30 Days of Pride, Senior Pride at Richardson Park on June 21st. Tell me what's happening out.
That's right, Jeff. On Saturday, June 21st, Wilton Manors will come alive with joy and pride as the Seniors of Today 2025 LGBTQ plus Senior Pride event takes place in Hagan Park from 12 to 3 p.m. Hosted by the Pride Center, Sage of South Florida, and SunServe, this free celebration will honor LGBTQ plus seniors with a vibrant afternoon of music, dancing, storytelling, and dazzling drag performances. A luncheon buffet and refreshments will be served, offering guests a delicious way to mingle and connect. The event will welcome guests of all ages, but the spotlight will shine on older queer adults, celebrating their journeys and their resilience. The event is hosted by HOTspots Happening, Al Ferguson. Attendees can expect heartfelt stories, lively entertainment, and an atmosphere filled with laughter and community spirit. Space will be limited, and advance registration will be required at sunserve.org. HOTspots Happening Out and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 Days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBTQ community, so stay tuned. This is great. We've talked about seniors a lot, and I know, Greg, you were part of the one in Miami, I believe, when they focused on...
they had a tent for the elders to sit and talk to the youngins.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
I think we need more of that, and we've sat around this table and have talked how many times about how we need to engage the younger community. So you young ones, we expect you to come out to this.
I mean, Senior Pride, I didn't think I could get any prouder than I already am. But please count me in on this one. And Rick and I will be there with our compression socks, our jitterbug flip phones, and our Metamucil mocktails. We can't wait.
Well, That sounds amazing, first of all. But I have to agree with Vaughn. I think these conversations of kind of mixing of generations in our community is important. And also, creating a space where, we have Stonewall Pride coming up. It is a commitment to going to Stonewall Pride in the heat and being outdoors. And a lot of the Pride events are, I would say, not conducive to some people for comfort or for safety in many cases. So this is a great way for them to be able to celebrate Pride in a safe, comfortable, air-conditioned space. It's like, that'll leave you speechless, buddy.
Yeah, I just don't know what to add to Gregg's monologue.
Sorry.
Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Senior Pride at Richardson Park on June the 21st. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Buddy Frey. He supports many of South Florida's local nonprofit organizations like Julian's Fountain of Youth and the Stonewall National Library and Museum. Buddy, 30 Days of Pride, official Pride bar crawl celebrates the drive on June 21st. Tell me what's happening out.
I like these events. Wilton Manors will come alive with pride, music, and cocktails on Saturday, June 21st, as the 8th annual official bar crawl takes over Wilton Drive. Hosted by Crawl With Us, the event invites LGBTQ supporters aged 21 and over to celebrate love and inclusivity with a vibrant evening of bar hopping, drag shows, and dance parties. Kicking off at 4 p.m. with a mandatory check-in at No Manners Bar and Lounge. The crawl runs through 10 p.m. with drink specials, rainbow swag, and no cover at participating venues. The celebration continues with an after-party until midnight. Attendees will receive drinks or shots, a custom badge, lanyards, access to exclusive food and drink deals, and a pub crawl map. Tickets are priced at $24.05 per person. Further information can be found on the Facebook page of Crawl With Us. HOTspots happening out, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 Days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBT community. So stay tuned. I mean, come on. That's going to be an amazing event. It always is. Alcohol, drag queens, bar hopping, and food.
Rainbow swag. Rainbow swag.
Rainbow swag.
They had me at Rainbow swag.
And it's always good until the shots start. And then
And it goes,
You just have to plan.
I'm done.
Plan.
No.
Plan.
and it goes to a real crawl.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also fun usually on these events, people get really dressed up for them
Yeah.
so that you kind of stand out, like, when they do this, the
In
pajama.
Wilton Manor, somebody standing out.
They usually people get really decked out for that.
Oh.
I'm sure for Pride Month that will be no different. So looking forward to that. Well, Queer News Tonight does look forward to seeing you at the official Pride Bar Crawl on June 21st. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Jeff Oliverio. He is a financial advisor and certified financial planner with Truist Wealth in Fort Lauderdale. Jeff is one of the founders and the president of the Hollywood LGBTQ+ Council. Jeff, 30 Days of Pride, Hollywood celebrates Juneteenth Pride on June 19th. Tell us what's happening out.
Well, I'm very excited about this event. The Legacy Builders will host their third annual Juneteenth Pride celebration on Thursday, June 19th from 7 to 9 p.m. It'll be at the Hollywood Central Performing Arts Center, which is at 1770 Monroe Street. The event will honor both Juneteenth and Pride Month, spotlighting Black and LGBTQ communities through culture, dialogue, and celebration. Kicking off with a health hub from 5 to 7 p.m., followed by a cocktail hour from 7 to 8 p.m. The evening culminates in a high-energy production from 8 to 9, featuring live entertainment, a panel discussion with community leaders, legacy awards, and a mindfulness closing. Queer News Tonight's anchor and the host of the FayWhat show, Faye Albernas, and Scott Holland, Vice President of Operations and Associate Publisher of HOTspots Magazine and Happening Out Network, are among the honorees of the awards. Admission is open to all seeking empowerment, culture, and community. More details are available on Eventbrite. HOTspots Happening Out and Queer News Tonight is celebrating 30 Days of Pride by promoting 16 dazzling events in the LGBTQ community. So stay tuned. I was actually last year I was one of the honorees at the Juneteenth event from the Legacy Builders. Was in Miami Beach last year, and it was a great event. And I really leveraged LaTanya to bring the event to Hollywood and to work with our Art and Culture Center around a Juneteenth event. I think this is again, bringing diverse communities together is really important. The intersectionality of what LaTanya does is very unique and special. And I think we like to say, like, there's no place in the world. There's not a lot of places in the world that are telling, Black and LGBTQ stories hand in hand and bringing community together. And with a focus on things that are at need, she's bringing the health hub. So AHF will be there with the van on site, entertainment, and again, and partnering with another local organization. So My Hollywood Pride and the Hollywood LGBTQ Council are kind of serving as co-hosting and helping with the event. So please check it out, tell your friends, and come see us in Hollywood.
I think LaTanya has done a great job with the organization because she has those difficult conversations that's okay to have, right? Let's get in the room, and if you're uncomfortable, it's okay to be uncomfortable. Let's just have the conversation. And I appreciate that she's so willing to do that and make it a safe space to have those conversations.
But I think what's really important is that we're finally, it's nice to see with as many organizations that are in South Florida, we're all coming together and we're all sharing the conversations and we're all introducing ourselves to new people and saying, hey, we can share the history. Right. And especially with the Black community or the African American community in South Florida. It's really nice to see that there's a outreach, because we all know we've all been gay our whole lives, and we know that certain populations are hard to reach any time of the year. So it's nice to see everyone come to the table in June.
Yeah.
Hooray for Hollywood! Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Juneteenth Pride on June 19th. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. HOTspots celebrates 40 years with Stonewall Pride Special Edition. You can't miss this one. HOTspots is celebrating 40 years with a special Stonewall Pride Edition coming this Thursday. The magazine is part of HOTspots Happening Out, the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media group in America. This new HOTspots issue will include interesting features like the one by Scott Holland sharing ideas on the perfect gift to offer this Father's Day. The magazine issue includes queer favorite topics like musicals. Don't miss the feature on the return of Chicago from June 17th to the 22nd at the Arch Center's Ziff Ballet Opera House. Another feature talks about Shucked, a Tony Award winning musical comedy, which comes to the Broward Center on June 10th. Talking about entertainment, don't miss Deep Inside Hollywood by Romeo San Vicente. As we enter Pride Month, a vibrant new wave of anthems is igniting gay dance floors everywhere. Jimmy Newsom writes Beatbox to introduce all the trending beats in town this Pride Month. Being a Stonewall Pride Special Edition, the magazine shares all the crucial information about the Stonewall Parade and Street Festival taking place on June 14th in Wilton Manors, and Take Pride 2025 at the Galleria Mall on June 18th. And of course, you can read popular features like Hot Bodies by Leo Harley and What's Hot and Out with Scott by Scott Holland. Grab your free copy of HOTspots magazine on Thursday, June 5th, or you might miss all the fun. Certainly for Pride Month, I think HOTspots is like the Bible of being able to track what's going on, and let alone just what's happening at Stonewall by itself. There's just in addition to the parade, entertainment and what's happening at all of the different venues and who's going to be featured, as exhibitors. So it's a great way to kind of know what's going on and make sure if there's something you want to see at Stonewall that you don't miss it, because it's a little bit busy.
A little overwhelming.
You can be a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So it's like your map.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the people? 55,000 people?
Something like
that. And that's it's insane. It's awesome, but it's insane.
Yes.
Well, I'm not a Broadway musical queen. However, I am looking forward to seeing Shocked, which was co-written by two queer singer-songwriters, Shane McAnally and the brilliant Brandy Clark. So can't wait for that.
Exciting. Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Gregg Shapiro, and let's queer up gay culture. Watch the hottest, craziest, and funniest Pride Month videos on social media. Even if you forgot to flip your calendar, your social feed hasn't. It's officially Pride Month. And what better way to kick things off than with a look at the funniest, wildest, and most heartwarming Pride content as found already making waves across social media. Here are some examples found by our friends at QueerT. First up, comedian Evan Mulrooney has us crying with laughter. His viral sketch, viewed more than 4.4 million times in one day, features a confused but clearly homo-curious straight man. Next, Maddie Hart, repping the B in LGBTQ, has 1 million plus folks cackling with her Pride Month calendar. She says, quote, "I'm bisexual, so I'm prideful for half of the month, but the other half I'm staying humble and deferential," end quote. And how about 14 million views in 24 hours? Flava P Fever's new anthem, "Wake up bitches, today is Pride, where are your rainbows, it's gay outside," has already been remixed by DJ Party Killer Classic. From Megan Statler's Buttershop to Audra McDonald's one-word vocal masterpiece, Gay. The internet is giving us everything. So keep scrolling, keep laughing, and most importantly, stay queer, y'all. With the fierce opposition our community faces in 2025, it's important to stay visible. Happy Pride. "It's gay outside" might be my new favorite Pride slogan. I want that on a shirt.
I see it coming your way. I don't know if anyone else feels the same, but again, if you are on social media, I don't think I can see anything on my feed at all that's not Pride related. I mean, that's legitimately, somebody asked me, they're like, "Did you see this?" And I was like, "No," because it's not LGBTQ related.
Right.
So I definitely didn't see that, which is great. I mean, we're faced with a lot of negativity and negative news every day. I've seen so many, family members and friends post ally posts on social media.
They're beautiful this year.
Which I think is, I think we're seeing that our allies are stepping up. If I can just gauge from my own social media, I've seen more posts for Pride Month from non-LGBTQ people than I've ever seen, at least in my own feed.
Yeah, me too.
And people that I knew were supportive, but just taking that extra step to make a post, I think really makes a difference. So these are funny videos, and I think there are of course, a lot of things to laugh at, but there's also a lot of warmth on social media right now.
And I'd much rather have the laughter than dealing with the news, right?
Exactly.
Right. Any day of the week. These are just hilarious. We have to see more. I want more. I think we all should do our own, right?
Maybe.
Okay.
I want to see Gregg's rendition of "It's Gay Outside."
I do too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll work on it.
Okay.
Chicago style.
At the senior event.
Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up healthcare. Pan-patient research shows little healthcare understanding. Healthcare access and financial assistance are particularly affecting vulnerable communities. Recent research conducted by the Pan Foundation has revealed a significant gap in the understanding of healthcare plans and financial assistance among those living with HIV/AIDS and the LGBTQ+ community. According to the research, only 2 in 5 patients know whether their insurance plan uses common practices that could limit access to treatment or hike up costs. When it comes to financial assistance programs like hospital charity care, pharmaceutical help, or federal aid, only 21% of the U.S. adults and 24% of those with chronic conditions say they're very familiar with these lifelines. And nearly 40% of the adults have never even heard of independent charitable assistance or pharmaceutical patient programs. It gets worse. Of those who needed medical financial help last year, 41% of the chronically ill patients didn't receive any. Many LGBTQ folks living with chronic illnesses are likely among those affected. Over 60% of patients with chronic condition said they are faced barriers using their healthcare plans. Confusion is widespread, with 42% of delayed care and 35% skipped medication, not knowing if it was covered or affordable. The internet and healthcare providers are the top places people turn to for help, but most say it's not enough. One thing is clear: patients want better education and clearer guidance. A staggering 87% of those with chronic conditions say they need more resources to navigate financial help and their healthcare plans. The message is loud and clear. Access doesn't just mean availability, it means understanding. We must prioritize patient education and support to ensure that everyone, regardless of their background or health status, can navigate their healthcare plans effectively and access the financial assistance they need. Together, we can build a healthcare system that is inclusive, equitable, and responsive to all the needs of all communities. Too many times in our communities, especially those living with HIV/AIDS and LGBTQ individuals, face a healthcare system that's confusing and fragmented. Access isn't just about coverage, it's about understanding and receiving comprehensive, coordinated care. When providers focus on their part of the care, they miss vital opportunities to collaborate and improve outcomes. We need a system built on education, integration, and true patient-centered care. You know, I find this interesting, this story, because I just dealt with this with my mom, actually. She called me and she was prescribed medication, and she went to go pick it up at the pharmacy, and they're like, oh, that'll be $897. Just like they have it, you know, someone who's living on Social Security can just, and she's like, why is it well, your insurance doesn't cover that prescription. So we see this happen, especially in our aging communities. I mean, we see this, they don't know until it's too late, or they go to a doctor and they're like, oh, this doctor isn't covered under that plan. You'll have to go to another one. And it just becomes barriers of care.
I mean, am I wrong in that many health insurance plans are written to be as vague as possible to benefit the insurance companies? Isn't that sort of...
Right.
Is it possible that could be part of the plan, that it's written that way so that, you know...
I mean, I think the way that health insurance plans are written, certainly for a layperson, even if they offer benefits. I actually sat on a benefit panel at work about just getting to find out what was important to employees about signing up for benefits, and all kinds of different, not just health benefits. And you know, one of the things on there was it was just very clear that people don't understand, and you know, especially if you work at an employer that has multiple health plans available, like the average person to be able to analyze them, and you know, things like AI, and there are some things that are out there now where they can do some prompts to ask questions, and you know, but again, it takes time to do that. It takes researching, is your doctor included on that, under that plan, and cross-referencing that, and you know, do you have a special condition, or might you be in a relationship with someone who has a special condition? There's so many nuances to these plans, and being able to pick the right one for you is very, very difficult. And I think there needs, you know, to be more resources out there, you know, nonpartisan resources. You know, obviously the insurance company, you know, they have resources that are designed to help. Are they helpful?
Yeah.
No, that's yet to be understood.
You think about it, they call and they typically change over, right? You could have the same insurance, and I'm not going to pick a name, but if the same insurance company, and then the new year rolls over and you're like, I'm staying in the same insurance, but what you don't realize is they just changed like 250 doctors in your area and formularies, but you don't know that.
Well, and also you have to keep, I mean, I'm self-employed. I work for myself. So I have to do all my own homework. And I mean, there's blessings to being employed in a big company. You get that 30-day timeline where suddenly you get this barrage of, you know, booklets on all the different options you have, and only 30 days to do your job, have your life, take care of your kids, your partner, your wife, your husband, your dogs. Oh, and make medical decisions with, you know, 6 pages of documents from each each group, unless it's the white paper. I call it the onion skin, where there's 2-point type and it's covered for 45 pages, and you have to figure out what in the hell are they talking about?
Written in a language that's
you don't
not
understand. No.
Right.
So,
Right.
maybe we should work on something of that here at the channel, where we sit there and we discuss the basics, just like finances and medical care, and offer it.
Yeah, I think there's a lack, and then again, especially with people that have a chronic condition or are already dealing with something that's really difficult, to do an analysis of or just dealing, like you said, for your mom. I mean, I know probably many of us have helped you know, family members or other people navigate things to being as you work for Holy Cross, being a patient advocate is what most people need, or they need someone who is, able to help them make those decisions or navigate, call your that's not covered, call the insurance company. The insurance company says, oh, that was CVS that did that. Not, it's like a back, it's a ping pong. And, for older people, it's very difficult to navigate. And especially if you're suffering from any kind of chronic illness.
And then add any language barrier.
Or language barriers as well. Big need out there. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Buddy Frey, and let's queer up the USA View. Modern history record. As 900 plus anti-LGBTQ incidents happened in the last year. GLAAD has released a new report sounding the alarm on the growing threats faced by queer people in the United States. According to the data from GLAAD's Alert Desk, there were 932 anti-LGBTQ incidents reported in the past year. That's an average of nearly 2.5 incidents every single day. This is a record in modern American history. Even more disturbing, those incidents led to 84 injuries and 10 deaths. Trans and gender nonconforming people bore the brunt of the violence, making up 52% of all reported incidents, 485 out of 932. That marks a 14% increase compared to the previous year. These numbers are stark because surveys show that trans and non-binary make up 1 in every 50 LGBTQ community member, but are more than half of all reported incidents. Attacks on educators and public servants are also on the rise. GLAAD tracked 181 incidents involving elected officials and local government members, which shows a 57% jump. And educators, librarians, and school staff were targeted 270 times, which is, again, up by 10% from last year. However, there is a glimmer of hope. Attacks on drag performers and venues have dropped by 55%. Incidents targeting pride flags and symbols are also down by 25%. GLAAD President and CEO Sarah Kate Ellis didn't mince words, writing, quote, "This year, rollbacks in the LGBTQ visibility and challenges to our rights are coupled with a sharp rise in anti-LGBTQ rhetoric and disinformation across social media and political campaigns. The result is a divisive cultural climate that comes at a cost," end quote. She also mentioned that data from GLAAD's Alert Desk shows 90% of non-LGBTQ Americans believe that the LGBTQ community deserves to live free from violence and discrimination. For LGBTQ viewers, this report is a powerful reminder that we must stay informed, support one another, and continue demanding accountability because our safety and our lives are on the line. I really honestly don't think that this is much of a surprise considering the current political environment that we're in. The world is watching us and we're failing ourselves. But at the same time, I'm more surprised with the drop in drag queens and performance venues. And I don't know if that's the whole don't fuck with the drag queen attitude or if it's just because it's too public and there's too much media possibility there. I'm disappointed that allies like teachers and the people behind the scenes are getting attacked so much greater, and that's got me concerned because those people are more vulnerable because they don't have the support mechanism that the venues and the performers and, Wilton Manors or the gay neighborhoods typically have. So it's interesting information. We've been saying here on this show countless times throughout the last year or two, we have to take care of ourselves. We have to be strong for each other. We have to take care of our families and our allies. And we just have to be smart and wise. Don't put yourself in a vulnerable position. Don't hide. Don't deny. Don't, be yourself. But use some common sense.
I mean, news like this is a reminder that we have to remain vigilant, as vigilant as possible, especially now during Pride Month.
Yes.
When we are gather in large numbers.
Exactly.
I mean, be aware of your surroundings at all times. Look up from your phone once in a while when you're walking down the street, and do everything in your power to remain safe from harm.
And identify those around you that are strong enough to help. Police, emergency people, shop owners. Look for those friendly faces.
At first when I was reading this, I was trying to think, I wonder what these were 10 years ago. Where was it 15 years ago? Because I thought, I bet it was so different. But then when I thought about it, it was like, but nobody was talking.
Right.
We've now empowered a generation of people to finally speak up and say something. And I think that's why we also see the rise, because more and more people are speaking up. Things are happening.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have a president that embraces political violence, so it's no surprise that there's violence against our community when there are people out there preaching hate against the LGBTQ community. So I agree with everybody here on set is live your life out loud and proud, but live your life safe and vigilant. And look out for each other. I think that's the most important. I mean, we sometimes live in our own bubbles, and just whether you're walking down the street or passing somebody by, or you have a friend that you haven't heard from, check in on people. I think that's really important, and certainly do go that extra mile for our trans siblings because they're really on the front line for all of the hate that's coming out. So,
and just one last point from my perspective, I know that there's going to be lots of alcohol and drinking during this month of the year. Please take care of your friends. Don't let anyone go home overserved, is the polite way to say it. Make sure people get home safely, not just because of common sense, but also you just want to make sure that we're all as safe as possible.
I mean, I have friends in Wilton Manors that are like, everybody's staying here. You're coming for Pride? Leave your car at home. You're going to stay here for the weekend. And it's kind of like, it's a great way. Just want it, you're safe.
Community.
It's community. We need that.
Yeah. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jeff Oliverio, and let's queer up gay culture. DJ Liza Rodriguez brings something different to One Magical Weekend Festival. 9 months pregnant. Music festivals and their DJs are a vital part of the LGBTQ culture, and June Pride Month is a major focus of that. Bookend weekends were held in Orlando and Disney's OMW Festival. That leads to this week's World Pride DC. But Saturday's pool party set at OMW featured something that will not likely be repeated anywhere in the world in 2025. South Florida's superstar DJ is Liza Rodriguez. She is married to Max, a noted stage dancer at events including OMW. The married couple is embraced by gay men at events across the world, including Daddyland, Hydrate, and special events at Wilton Drive's The Manor. But Saturday was different. DJ Rodriguez celebrated our community at OMW while 9 months pregnant. Her due date is just 10 days after her performance. Liza made no attempt to hide her situation and instead was completely authentic in her set and performance. And the gay audience loved it. The owners of OMW actually brought the story to the attention of Queer News Tonight executive producer Al Ferguson, and some of the pictures here are from his camera. Rodriguez's performance was her last before she is set to give birth. Ferguson talked to OMW celebrants about a very pregnant DJ performing on the main stage, and one guest said, quote, "I've never seen a pregnant DJ perform, much less be so active to dance. It is really motivational and shows we can do anything we set our minds to," end quote. Her husband Max was a dancer and a large group of performers on stage with her. Everyone at HOTspots Happening Out celebrates this incredible moment and can report she did not go into labor before she finished her set. We congratulate our proud LGBTQ South Florida allies, Liza and Max. Wow, what a great feel-good story. Seeing a pregnant DJ at a gay event is probably shocking for a lot of people at the event. Never let it be said that women who are 9 months pregnant can do just about anything. I used to have a woman that was at my CrossFit gym that came to work out during her 9th month of pregnancy. So I'm happy to see Liza out there DJing, and hopefully she has a very healthy and happy baby.
A pregnant DJ, what will they think of next? But it's a good thing her water didn't break. She could have got electrocuted on the stage. I'm glad she's all right. Oh,
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
Hydro birth, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good idea.
I mean, I just have to say, I love to see pregnant women. And I only say that because, that's why I respect women in our culture, because, they bring forth life into this world, and that's just something to be honored. And it's like, yes, don't hide on the couch eating bonbons and and potato chips. Get out and dance.
There's no maternity leave for DJs.
No.
I'm learning here.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
That's true. If you're not spinning, you're not winning.
This is true. Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer and nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ community.
If our rainbow family is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of HOTspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Jeff Oliverio, and on behalf of these LGBTQ reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Gregg Shapiro, Vaughn Biggs, and Buddy Frey, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ world, we hope you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, be transformative, and queer. Good night.
Good night.